So hello you guys and welcome back to my channel. Let's talk about the season of Fear because holy shit. Christ on a bike. This season is really, it's amped up. It's new, it's different, it's exciting, and one thing I'm seeing everybody say online is that everyone seems to be really enjoying it, which just, it makes me happy because it's the type of show that I have really enjoyed since season 1, and then I feel like everyone kind of turned on it and now everyone has turned back to loving it again, so I'm like, finally. Finally. I feel like we've kind of just gone from strength to strength with this season so far. As I said last week, I'm loving the anthology feel. I'm loving that we're kind of zoning in on smaller groups of characters at a time that gives us a chance to kind of connect with them and really feel for them, because when there's so much going on during an episode, I get distracted too easily. Maybe that's a me problem, probably. But I do prefer when it is just kind of zoned in on smaller characters, smaller groups of characters. It makes it more impactful when shit happens. So yeah, I really like the format of the season so far. I feel like the music this season has taken a turn too, and it kind of helps lend itself to those big emotional scenes. This episode is by far probably my favourite episode of Fear since John Dory met June. Since that episode, I can't remember what season or number that was, but that has probably been my favourite episode of Fear until this one came along. And now I'm like, oh, it's a tough one because this episode was just so unexpected. So first off, this episode was directed by Coleman, who plays Strand, and I have said it before and I will say it again. I love it when actors from a show direct episodes of the show, because I feel like they've been on it for long enough. They've kind of shadowed directors. They've followed around the production team. They know the show. They know their show. So I love getting to see the show from an actor's point of view. And I love Strand. I love Coleman. I think Strand is a fantastic character. Coleman plays him beautifully. So I did like that touch to this episode. But moving on to the story of it, there's a few things that people have been pointing out. One would be the license plate thing. Now, I'm not going to lie, Aaron did come to mind too. The fact that Al and Dwight are doing this kind of driver's license game, and then Al referenced the license plates that she used to collect. A lot of people have been trying to make a connection between that and The Walking Dead. I don't think the connection's there, to be honest. Partially because Al said her brother was dead, and Aaron, as we know, is alive and kicking with his badass arm weapon thing that he has crafted. And also, I'm pretty sure that Aaron said they had a brother, not a sister. Like, Aaron never mentioned. I don't even know if he mentioned having a sibling, but I'm pretty sure he never mentioned having a sister. So yeah, personally, I don't think that's the connection that's going to be drawn. But yeah, they are going to tie in all the shows together, as far as I know. They're going to tie this into either The Walking Dead or Rick's movie. So we are probably going to see like crossovers and little nuggets of seeds planted that are hopefully going to grow someday, but I don't think that's one. Someone commented and mentioned that the ID game thing is more of just like a game or a way of kind of identifying people that have died. That like we saw Al give that lady back, I think his name was Mike. She gave him back Mike's ID and was like, ooh, kind of awkward, but here's his driver's license, so like he's dead, you know. And I do think that is probably another big part of why they do what they do too with the IDs, just to ID people. Dwighty boy, this episode, absolutely. Lads, I was shocked to fucking high heaven, I have to admit. I couldn't put my finger on it at first when I first watched the episode. I was like, what is different about him? As it turns out, everything. My man got a haircut, he got a new outfit, he got a new bit of a personality for himself, and I'm just like, love heart eyes looking at him like, oh, sweet Jesus. I feel a bit better though, because there was an abundance of comments saying like, yeah, everyone is kind of forming a little bit of a crush on Dwight, so I'm like, okay, I don't feel so bad no more. Because yeah, I mean, look, he does have a past. He has done shit before. We have the whole him making Daryl eat dog food, which I'm like, okay, I don't think I'll ever forgive you for that, motherfucker, and I probably will take a swipe at you for that. But he has changed, he has grown, he's a different person now. He jumped from show to show looking for his lady love. He found her. He's different. I have to say, his little trip with Al was just, it really, I think it was needed to bring him more to the forefront and to make him likable and lovable, because that's something that he was missing. Like, people liked his character, but they didn't full on love him. I think they didn't really like fall for him or feel that kind of spark and connection to him. This episode put him on everyone's fucking radar as lovable man, Mr. Number One, myself included. I'm like, I love you now. Yeah. Now, that being said, I did just watch a whole season of Supernatural. I watched all of season 14 in 2 days. I'm trying to catch up before it ends. I watched Supernatural back in the day. I started watching it when I was like 13 or 14. around season 10, I think I kind of got distracted and fell off. So I had to get back into it because it's ending and I want to be part of the end. And I'm so emotional. You try watching a whole season in 2 days. You like, I've done so much crying and heart wrenching. Just, ooh. So like, I'm already in an emotional place, I gotta admit. So like, Dwight even being half nice had me like, oh Jesus, I love him. I feel like it was a kind of good, it was like a red herring. Throughout the whole episode they kept mentioning Sherry, but like, I never once thought, oh, she's gonna pop up. Because I was so focused on Al and, what's her name, Isabel? I didn't even think that Sherry could pop up, you know? So like, we were so focused on that when Sherry did pop up, little bitch just jumped out of nowhere. Like, perfect kind of re-emergence, re-entrance into the show. Absolutely loved it. Oh my god. Another kind of kick in the feelings from this episode for me is I follow like the whole cast on everything, but on Instagram, I think it was Instagram, was it? Let's try and check. Someone just commented there to mute me because I spoiled the Fear the Walking Dead. Lads, this is why I don't go into my comments like ever. If you haven't seen the episode of a show, or, you know, whatever the fuck, you should stay off the internet. Everyone else has to do it. I do it. I stay off the internet till I've seen the episode. You're gonna get spoiled by someone, somewhere. Something that really kicked me in the balls of my feelings was Coleman put up a post on Instagram about missing. He said how we all wish we could run towards someone we missed. This episode to me was a meditation on lost love and love found. And it was just so, I was like, oh my god, yes, that is just a big fat mood for 2020. Gotta say, I think the plague thing was pretty interesting. Did not see that popping up in an episode of Fear the Walking Dead, the goddamn plague, but there it was, scuttling along the corridors. It was very coincidental that the antibiotics just so happened to be on top of the roof, but we will look past it. It's also a bit suspicious. Alright, like, yeah, it's coincidental. Everyone's like, oh, it's so coincidental, it just so happened to be there. But, like, why the fuck would that exact antibiotic be on the roof of the building that just so happened to be infected with the plague? And Al did mention, like, oh, it looks like somebody started this shit, like, what the fuck? And she said it about, she had a spray can in her hand, which would pin the blame on the same motherfuckers that were spray painting the side of the submarine that we saw in, I think it was the last episode. So it feels like we're getting some new villains. And I'm like, yeah, I'm ready for that, because the last villain we had died in the same episode he was introduced in. So these villains are already doing a right lot better than the last that we saw. They've lasted 2 episodes. I'm loving the season. I love the feel. I love the vibe. It's different. It's fresh, but it's still, it feels like super old Fear the Walking Dead, like season 1, season 2, but with a modern kind of new twist. And I'm just like, yeah, give me more of this shit, please. The cast this season as well, they're killing it. I love this shit. So you guys, that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you would be interested, the link to my Patreon is down below, which all week long we're celebrating Halloween over there. So there's going to be a Halloween movie reaction every single day. There's also a few new shows started up, like American Horror Story, Haunting of Hill House, Good Omens, and more that I just can't remember right now. Somebody's creating bloody war downstairs. It sounds like they're having a fight with the fucking kitchen sink. So the link to that's below if you want to check it out. There's also the link to my Twitter and my Instagram if you want to connect. And yeah, until next time I talk to you, be good, be safe. I love you guys, and thank you so much for watching.